Happy Wednesday. It is Manic and Chill live coming to you on the 10th of December. Shane, it is the start of the fantasy playoffs. We talked a little bit about it last week. The chase for the last playoff spot, week 14, it's over. We're here. I don't know if you were up last night or the night before when everything rolled over to the next year. So you could finally see those teams that were in the playoffs. You actually officially see the brackets.
Oh, yeah.
Like you always get that little, like, I have to see it be official. You know what I mean? See what my matchup looks like. Let's scout out the next week or two, but it is fantasy playoff time. It is week 15. Our title tonight has nothing to do with that. Our title is There's Always Next Year. So maybe we'll walk through a couple teams that we're planning for next year, teams that are out of it. We can talk a little bit about toilet bowls, that kind of thing. We hit on it at the end of the show last week, but I want to touch on it a little bit more this year. Balance trading in toilet bowls versus actually trying to win the comp pick or win the 101. We can talk about that. But what's good, man? It's been a fun week 14. We've had a lot of content inside the Heisman all day today. I know you weren't in there, but man, I think we've talked about pretty much everything possible over the last 8 hours in there today. But what's good with you?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to be in there today. I had some other stuff going on at the work and whatnot. But it's exciting. It's playoff season. It was fun going through counting the playoff winners, or not playoff winners, but how many teams made the playoffs versus teams that we actually tried to make the playoffs. One of the things I was going to do, Shane says, but anyway, it morphed into this. One of the things I was thinking of is what defines a successful year, right? Obviously, making the playoffs is a success most of the time. But not every team is built to make the playoffs. So it does make me wonder. And I was thinking about what is a success for a losing team, right? Obviously, if you're the 7 seed and you didn't make the playoffs, and you have just normal draft capital, I'm guessing you wouldn't consider that a success, would you? Let's say you're the 7 seed. You have your first, your second, nothing extra, maybe 2/3.
So I'm the 7 seed, meaning there's 7 teams in the playoffs?
No. 6 teams in the playoffs like a normal. I do have one league where I was the 2 seed.
So you are the first team out. You are the worst pick.
You're the
but
mid.
You also didn't get the even 5% chance or whatever it is to win the championship. So you're basically on the ass end of both outcomes. Yeah, and you didn't move your first.
Didn't move your first.
Basically, you never pushed in or you never pushed it lower. You just stuck there. Yeah, I can't really think of a place where that would be beneficial unless you're playing for the 101. That's actually the prime spot to be. But Shane hates that. He wouldn't want to have any leagues like that where you're actually, because that would be the number 1 seed in the toilet bowl, correct?
Oh, yeah,
the favorite to win the toilet bowl.
Yeah. When you do the toilet bowl incorrectly, yes, that's right. Now I will say this: I am in a few toilet bowls because I had 8 tankers this year, 8 design tankers. By the way, going into the year, and I got to be honest with you, the demarcation, setting it before the season that hard, was really good. It was really, really, really useful. Anyway, I do have one of those leagues where I have a bye in the toilet bowl because it's worst to the best, and my team is by far the worst, and I've got the bye in the
and that's how it should be. It's not the default on Sleeper. I think we talked about last week on Sleeper. It will say toilet bowl, which is actually if you have the worst score, you advance. So you need to change it to consolation bracket. But even in the consolation bracket, doesn't it make sense the worst 2 teams should get the bye, Shane? But that is not the default. You have to actually go in and manually change it. I think I've changed it in 4 or 5 where if you finish 12th or 11th, you should actually be treated like the number 1 or number 2 seed and you should get the bye.
So real quick,
push that in your league. It just makes logical sense. And I guarantee you most leagues do not have the bylaws that specify that. So
just while we're going through this, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just jump in like that, but I'm a douche. You know that. Apparently you can see your teams on Sleeper now, your best ball teams. So that's good to know. Just thought, I don't know if anyone wants to know that. Anyway.
Well, now you're just distracting me from hosting duties because I immediately have to pull up a browser and look because I have some best ball, and that is annoying. If you're on the desktop, you cannot see any best ball stuff other than I think you can see the chat, but that's it. Like you can't see any transactions. Wow. Okay.
It's there. I'm looking at it because I was just looking to see which leagues I have the 101 in for the teams that I tanked. And by accident, I clicked on a best ball team. Oh, here's another best ball team. Wow.
I'll be damned. It is there.
Wow.
You can even like propose trades and you can see draft picks. Yeah.
This is amazing.
It's an update.
Well, anyway.
Well, so let's talk about playoffs are starting. I don't want to turn this into a trade deadline episode. We've hit that many times in the past. Yeah. Let's assume you can still trade, because then we'll move into the leagues where maybe you can't trade. I think a lot of people that are out of it also can't trade. And you're kind of wondering, what do I do over the next 3 weeks? So I want to talk about that in the second half of the episode. If you're literally, because when the week ends in week 17, what happens? And it's not that it's, well, what happens in your league though? What is the default on both MFL and Sleeper? After week 17, guess what? The calendar is over.
It is.
There's no more waivers. There's no more lineups. Rosters are just locked. You know what I mean? Until your settings turn it back on, or until your settings set up waivers for the offseason or whatnot, like everything's locked. So there's little things you can do with your roster. Take this time, and we'll talk about this with a couple teams. I have a team specific that I want to go through. Hopefully you can find one that is not one of the obvious tankers that you've already worked, but one that needs some work before the season is over, but is not in the playoffs. I think a lot of people are like, what should I be doing during this time? Who should I be picking up? Who should I be prioritizing cutting? Because especially if you just missed the playoffs over the last couple of weeks, you have some players where you're like, I was okay rostering this guy during the season, but do I need to carry now? Do I need to carry Jeremy McNichols anymore? You know what I mean?
Not.
Like that, but that's the type of player. Should I cut them for? There's probably not a lot out there to cut them for, but what archetype should I be looking for if I am going to cut them? Do I want a rookie? Do I want, I see some rookies on waivers. I guess we can just go right into this. I see some rookies on waivers that they're not useful at all. I'm in a couple leagues where there's like Jarquez Hunters on waivers. And it's a best ball league, so I can see why he's on waivers, because he literally has only played, 1 game? 2 games?
Yep.
But is that the kind of guy you'd rather carry into the offseason rather than a player that, like, who would you rather carry into the offseason? Jarquez Hunter or Jaleel McLaughlin?
Give me Hunter.
Right. McLaughlin you'd probably keep if it's best ball, because he is on the field at least. You know what I mean? But as soon as the clock strikes midnight and you're out of it, or you don't care about the now, then you can start shifting some of those moves. And sometimes there's, 5, 6, 7, 8 roster spots you can flip over like that. And then once things are locked, things are locked. So where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? What's on your mind? You want to talk about Daniel Jones?
Oh, what's up with Daniel Jones?
I want to talk Daniel Jones value. We talked about a little bit on the morning drive, but not on here. For those that don't know, we do the morning drive, Shane and I, every Monday. It is usually just raw overreactions to all the shit that happened on Sunday.
A little bit.
But it's good. It's fun.
Daniel Jones. I would take Tyler Shuck over him. I would take Shedeur Sanders over him.
What's the line? I would take,
apparently it's not Shedeur Sanders. Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, Tua. Tua's the line.
Okay. How far down?
Tua is always the line. I mean, I haven't even looked at KTC rankings for quarterbacks. Where is Daniel Jones?
Well, he was quarterback 20 before the injury.
Okay.
And I'm pulling it up right now. So Daniel Jones currently, he's falling, obviously. He's right. I mean, we talked about it the other night on Dynasty Takeaways. He's right in that
22
sweet spot range where, like, you are probably having to decide, do you prefer Michael Penix over Daniel Jones?
No.
Okay, so still Daniel Jones over Michael Penix. And I think Michael Penix was quarterback 24.
Yeah. How's JJ McCarthy quarterback 28, 26? But anyway.
People don't think he's good. But yeah, Danny Dimes has fallen to 22. He was at 20 as of Sunday night. So I imagine this will continue to go down. Like, do you think he gets past? I mean, he's got to get passed by. I would take Kyler Murray over Daniel Jones. You agree?
I would take Kyler Murray. I'm excited to see wherever he lands next year. It's going to be exciting stuff. Maybe.
I would definitely take JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
over Kyler Murray.
McCarthy. Yeah. Oh, dude, we were talking about it just briefly in the chat today. And it's funny. JJ McCarthy had one good game, and now everybody just forgets how shit they talked about him. now all of a sudden we completely have been our minds have been erased as to how brutal he looked. And I guess that's just how we are. I mean, I'm the same way with some players, but it's just funny. But anyway, either way, he has enough street credibility that I could use him as opposed to being able to do anything with Daniel Jones, which is, at that level is probably more important, is what can I do with them?
So going into the offseason, Matt Stafford or Daniel Jones?
Stafford.
Okay. And then you already said Jones over Penix, but then you agreed McCarthy, Kyler, Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Shuck, Tua Tagovailoa, all those guys over Daniel Jones. So we're down to next guys up are Mac Jones or Daniel Jones?
Mac Jones. See, that's interesting because they could be starting at the same time. Both of them could have a starting job at the same time. By the time Daniel Jones comes back.
Well, in the next two, Mac Jones and Jacoby Brissett.
I'm taking Mac, and you know what? If I need a quarterback right now, let's say I had Jaden Daniels, and he's going to sit another week. Yeah, give me Jacoby. Sean's talking about JJ McCarthy, I think. Yeah, Daniel Jones is not someone that I'm that. Am I going to be sad in about 6 months if Daniel Jones comes back? Well, 6 months, it would be May. So that'd be weird. He'd be playing in the UFL. But let's say he somehow gets back on the field in November. Do I think it's going to break my heart that he's on the field, or is it going to cripple my team if he's on the field and I traded him away? I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
No, but here's the reality. This was a average at best quarterback before.
Yes.
That his superpower was he was mobile, and he now has a torn Achilles, and it's going to be less than 9 months removed from the time he has the surgery to the start of next year. He doesn't have a contract, and some of the injury data on this injury is like he's not going to be 100% next year. He's going to be limited next year. So what does that mean for his future after next year? What if he goes out next year and looks like Aaron Rodgers coming off the Achilles or Kirk Cousins?
And that's what's in my mind.
And then the Colts go, I'm not giving this guy a 3-year extension. You know what I mean? Then what? And then he's like where Kirk Cousins was when he went to the Falcons. Like that's exactly where he would be. And how exciting were you when Cousins went to the Falcons? Like he was fine. But like, yeah, if that's kind of like the median outcome where I can live without having that. So I have no problem moving him down to, Shane, I think there's a world Brissett starts next year. Like, I think you can go down to quarterback 30 and still be like, I can live without Daniel Jones. I have some trades on him. You want to pull them up from the last 3 days?
Let's go.
Okay, so we're going to sort by, here's what I do on Dynasty Daddy. I always sort by max asset count. I make it low. I don't want to see like 9-piece trades. It doesn't really give you the value of the player you're trying to look up. So I usually sort it by 4 or less. And I'm literally looking at trades since the injury. So what is his current market value? And I'm just going to ask you if you like any of these. So there's a Daniel Jones straight up for a Tua. That is just I want out of him, and I'll take anything. So Daniel Jones for Tua. Okay.
No.
Would you give up Sam Darnold for Daniel Jones and James Conner?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Would you give up? Here's a good one. Oh, man, this is a dream trade, Shane. You get Tyler Shuck and Christian Watson.
For Daniel Jones?
You give Daniel Jones, and you have to also give up Jonathan Brooks.
Oh, I don't know. Let me think on that John Brooks, man, because he just had the 2025 season off, so his multi-torn knees might be ready. Yeah, no. Give me Shuck and give me Watson. Dude, absolutely love that. Give me.
If you wanted a quarterback back for Daniel Jones, this is an interesting one. Would you add your 27 first to Daniel Jones to get Jordan Love?
I don't want to, but yes.
Okay.
Because you know why? Because you know why? It's the playoffs and I need a quarterback. So, yeah.
I'm sure you'd rather do this. You'd rather add Troy Franklin to Daniel Jones to get Jordan Love?
I would like that a little more than giving up the first. Yes.
Yes.
I would prefer that.
I assume that you would add 2/3 to Daniel Jones to get Sam Darnold.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, my dude Tyler Shuck. I got made fun of a lot in the preseason for Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck. I haven't seen anyone come back and be like, oh shit, Shane was right. But anyway, yeah, Tyler Shuck has been playing really, really well. 3 QB1 games. Let's go. Thank you, Showbiz, for bringing that up. I appreciate it.
Good schedule down the stretch too for Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice.
Could be a guy that trends nicely into. We talked about it last week. Him and Shador could trend nicely.
Yeah. Here's one concern. Here's one concern though with if you are trading for Jacoby Brissett is he's playing the Houston Texans this week, who give up the fewest points to quarterbacks per game, something like 12 fantasy points per game. It's ridiculous. Yes. They are, not great, Bob.
Yeah, and they also do not have their left tackle this week. And their passing production when he's not out there is like 149 yards per game, I believe is what it was. It was way less. Now, that was not with always Jacoby Brissett, but still, like that, not a great matchup. But would you add Brandon Ayuk in a second to Daniel Jones to get Bo Nix?
Yes. We're giving a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, that has some fake value. I love it.
But that's the trend. That's the trend you see with a lot of these trades is you cannot add Daniel Jones to go and get Dak Prescott.
Right.
You know what I mean? Trevor Lawrence, somebody that people kind of like a little bit. But if you're going to the guys that, Sam Darnold and Bo Nix, I mean, Bo Nix is okay. But if you're just trying to get another body like JJ McCarthy like that, I think you can do it. You just have to add, and I'd rather add stuff versus firsts or high-end starters. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Here's another one where it was Daniel Jones, and you get back Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix. So you get the quarterback now and Michael Penix later. I think I would do that.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
I'm just, if you need a quarterback now.
If you need
a guy, you technically get a body.
If you need a quarterback right now, you only have 6 teams you can probably deal with. I'm going to guess the teams in the playoffs generally aren't going to trade with each other.
You can blow 56% of your fab on Phillip Rivers,
who looks like he might get to start this week, but
looks like will not start this week.
No, I was just looking at I don't know. I was looking
Riley
at Twitter.
Leonard practiced in full. I don't think they put Phil Rivers out there at Seattle. I think they give him a break. They let Riley Leonard absolutely go Matt Brosmer, and then they put Phillip Rivers back at home.
Yeah. That's elder abuse if you put him out there.
You're sacrificing somebody this weekend, and hopefully it's not 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
No. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Would you give up Daniel Jones? And oh man, you had to give up also Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. You remember him?
Oh,
I remember. He is in the league.
He is. You sure?
Mm-hmm. Right, you would do that for Cam Ward?
Yes, absolutely.
Would you give up Daniel Jones for Sam Laporta? That's just 2 teams with injured assets that just decided to trade.
Sure.
How about this? Oh, this is a good one. Okay. So you gave up, I assume this is a contending team, but I don't know because they bought Daniel Jones with draft picks. Mm-hmm. They gave up a 26 first and a 26 second. They got back Daniel Jones and Michael Wilson.
No, I'm sure. Well, look. What?
Dude, Michael Wilson is
I'm just confused. Like, why you're trading for both of those? That feels like one of those deals you just kept adding on both sides to make it feel even.
Here's what it feels like. It feels like you wanted Michael Wilson for a second.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't give you Michael Wilson for a second. But they said, wait, if you throw me that late first, I'll give you Daniel Jones. Yeah. And you can have the discount on Michael Wilson. And so they're like, fine, I'll take Daniel Jones. I'll start him. I can see a world where that works. Yeah. If you have the right roster to use Daniel Jones when he becomes a starter again. I don't love it. I'd rather just add on another second to get Michael Wilson or something like that. But that's probably what they were thinking is like, oh, Michael Wilson, I should be able to get for a second. And the manager won't sell them to me for a second. So I have to add something else that's in their favor. So, and then last one, would you give up a 26 again? Someone gave up their 26 first and second. They got back Daniel Jones, but then they also bought Travis Etienne. So that's like the other deal where it's like they're giving up a first and a second. Again, they probably wanted to buy Travis Etienne for a second. And the manager said, no, I need more. Okay, then I'll give you a first for Daniel Jones. You know what the theme of this, Shane, is? And we talked about it a little bit today in Heisman. Have you noticed these 26 picks are not worth very much? Have you noticed that?
They get thrown around like nickels as opposed to manhole covers. That's for sure.
I mean, are we already there? I mean, like it. I know there's going to be a window where people do get a little bit excited about the 26 picks, but I mean, we're literally sitting here debating. We just talked about if they rule Marvin Harrison Jr. out for the season, would you give up a playoff first for Michael Wilson?
No.
Consensus in voice chat was yes.
No, I get it. I'm more of a long-term thinker than a lot of people in voice chat who are very impetuous, very what's the word I'm looking for? Very in the moment.
Shane, you could get 18 targets a game for the next 3 games.
I could. He's not going to do anything next week. So what's going to happen is I'm going to trade for a first. He's going to get shut down by one of those Houston corners. I don't know. He's going to have 3 receptions for 13 yards.
And he'll be in your lineup. He'll suck. You'll get eliminated, right?
I'll get eliminated, and I'll go, oh, I probably shouldn't have given a first up for him. Huskers doing it. Huskers all about it. Look, I had someone, I'll tell you right now, in the league we're in DGT, Dynasty Game Theory. Undefeated, baby. I'm on break this week.
And I tried to send you Tony Pollard and Chris Godwin for Kyler Murray, and you didn't want to do it.
Yeah, we'll revisit it, right? Because I have a week off just to hang out. I was also offered Michael Wilson and something of not a lot of consequence for a 27 first, and I said no, thank you. And that's a 14 team, so actually that I probably should have done because there's a pretty good chance that my team's going to be good next year too. So maybe Husker would have done it. Husker says yes, he would have done it. So maybe I should have done it.
I mean, that would be a league where that would be an exception because you do have a top tier team that you're trying to go wire to wire. And so that would be one of those where you could justify it and just not make it the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's something, it's something I'll actually look into that. I will look into that.
Well, you know what you do if that's the case, if you know that you can get the player for the 27 first, you got to get a second piece.
Yeah.
Like that's a piece where you get, like a Chuba Hubbard thrown in, or you get maybe not even that Kenneth Gainwell, like you just a second piece. Cause I know that league half the weeks this year, I'm just trying to find like, is this guy going to play? Well, if he's playing, he's in my lineup. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those. So if you could even just get a second piece of a guy that's barely even worth a second, like it's worth doing. Cause I think you have a really good shot to go wire to wire. And I've gotten a couple offers in that league today. That I didn't do. So you're not the only one that's sniffing around a deal, but you're right. You have a buy. Talk about that when you have a buy, because there's been a couple teams where our trade deadlines are the start of week 15.
Mm-hmm.
So I know no trade deadlines, hate trade deadlines, but I do have probably 10 leagues where the trade deadlines are the start of week 15. So you have to get your trades in by the time the players' game starts this week. So if they're playing Thursday night, like you can't trade those players past Thursday night. If they're playing Sunday, you have until Sunday. But if you have a bye, like if you already have the week off, what are you looking at? Because it's really a 2-week season at that point. Like, let's assume that even if there is a trade deadline, it's this week. But if there's not, are you even trying to trade this week if you have the bye, or are you going to sit back and kind of wait, make sure nothing you trades for gets injured? Or wait and see if because there's going to be 2 teams eliminated. There could be better sellers after this week. Like, what's your approach if you have a bye?
I hate going like this because no one's going to like this, but it's kind of team specific, right? I'm looking at a roster and going, one, do I actually have a need, right? Am I just trying to buy, or do I have a pressing need? The problem with waiting an additional week is that whoever wins this week too is also going to be pursuing hard, right? They're also going to be pursuing probably even harder than maybe they did this week. Maybe, and I'm in this position in a couple of leagues, right? I have offers sitting out there to me, but I'm like, I'm about a 50-50 shot this week. I don't know that I want to put in this week. And there might be other people in that position. Now, obviously, you're going to lose 2 or 3 teams this week. I forget. I'm not great with math. You're going to lose a couple teams, but the ones that are left might be more motivated to buy. And I don't typically worry about injury. It's not something that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So I'm fine making a deal now and hoping that the guy just makes it to the following week. It's funny. I did look at, with Devon Achane being questionable. I haven't seen any updates at all today. I keep searching. First thing I did is look for the leagues that I have to play this week that he's on, the teams that he's on, because I'm like, all right, well, can I make a move there? But I'm not pressed to make any moves, to be quite honest with you, when I have a bye. I mean, there's a reason those teams have a bye generally. They typically don't have many weaknesses. That doesn't mean that I'm not still going through every team that's not in the playoffs and seeing if I can't make a move now that it's official. So I am still doing that.
So Devon Achane, he is highly motivated to play in their upcoming game. They are still in the playoff hunt. His MRI was negative.
Yes.
According to Coach Mike McDaniel, he could have returned to the game last week, but he didn't need to.
And then
so
Sleeper
sounds like
says,
like he's I'd pencil him in.
And Sleeper's note is he may require rest this week. I don't know. Oh, it's because they get their shit from RotoWire, right? Or Roto House.
Well, it's also a rib injury. So if it's basically he doesn't have a broken rib, it's probably just one of those where he's gonna have to wear one of those flak jackets, and he could, rib injuries are dangerous. You take another hit, like he could be out again. But all points to you're gonna have him this week. So, and I think they play Monday night, right? I think they play Pittsburgh on Monday night. Is that correct? Yeah. I believe.
Yes.
I think that's right. Yeah, they play Pittsburgh on Monday night. So, you're going to have some faith, but that seems like one where you can probably pencil him in. So, I want to ask you, is the net of waiting a week more positive or negative because you're going to have two teams that get knocked out?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's going to be two teams that win that are going to be coming at you. Two more teams in the market to try to buy, but there's also going to be two teams that are effectively eliminated now. And if they can trade, how do you decide, like, is that net going to be positive or negative for me? And does it depend on, I know you said team specific, does it depend on if you have assets? Like if you still have an injured Malik Neighbors or, hell, there's a lot of players that could be ruled out the rest of the year. Drake London, Marv, Roma Dunze, T. Higgins, all these guys could make it just any point. Like they could have to liquidate them if you want points,
Yeah. Drake London is a player that I'm highly motivated to move on bye teams. He is he was ruled out today, which is Wednesday. Well, the game's tomorrow, right?
It's his fourth game and he's already been ruled out, which tells me like there's very low likelihood he's playing in week 16. And then what do you have left when they're bottom
and they're
5
eliminated,
in the league?
right? Are they eliminated yet? They're eliminated for all practical purposes. I'd be very surprised if I see him back, to be honest with you. I have deals out there where I'm trying to use Drake London and a first to get players, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'm motivated to sell him. Mike, Mike's point, 2 fewer buyers and 2 more sellers. I don't know that there's, in theory, yes, there's 2 fewer buyers. Another thing is some of these teams in the playoffs this week are selling out to win this week. And when they lose, or even if they win, they might not even have capital to buy next week either. So I can still buy. So again, I don't feel obligated to make moves right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do have to look at your league. You have to look at the tendencies of the teams that are involved. And
well,
I'm guessing for example, if you're the 5 or 6 seed and you just limped in, you probably should have already kind of been looking at like maybe selling something. You don't have to wait till you're eliminated, but sometimes you don't have to because you can still trade when you're eliminated. I tend to think that it's a net positive. If you can hold on to a first or you can hold on to an injured stud, not an injured player. I'm talking like an injured guy that has, close to a first or better value. That should be more powerful as a trade chip when you get to the playoffs. When you get to week 16, think of the Rashee Rice conversation that we talked about all offseason. Man, don't you wish you would have had a couple more Rashee Rices to sell in the playoffs last year when people were still valuing him as a top 12 receiver, even though the season was over? Like that's where, like I have a couple deals and I'll just tell you how I've been approaching it. I have a couple teams where I still have Malik Neighbors. I held on to him for that reason. But I have a buy. And I've had some teams come sniffing around Malik Neighbors, and I'm just kind of like, it has to be the perfect deal still. But that's week 15. I have no pressure to win this week. But if we move into week 16, like I have to kind of know what I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a net positive the longer you can hold out. But you just have to be willing to be aggressive when next week rolls forward. Tuesday evening, Wednesday, like you only have 4 days. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like you have all week to wait, but you just have to know what you want to do. Okay, I'm not trading Drake London right now. I'm going to wait for these two teams to get eliminated. And When they do, I know exactly what I'm going to go after. Here's the type of trade I'm going to send. I'm going to send Drake London for, this filler receiver in a first, or whatever the plan is, whatever the deal is, be ready to just send it out. Be ready to go to those teams, because you don't know where they're going to be at. You don't know if they're going to be ready to trade right away. Hell, you could have teams that are the 3rd seed and they get upset and they don't want to trade. You know what I mean? They check out of the league for the next couple weeks because they're just so upset that they got beat and they don't want to move. They should, but they don't want to move anything because they're so pissed off. You know what I mean? Like, I've had that too. So just be ready to attack if you're going to wait a week. But I do think waiting a week is pragmatic.
And you do also need to take into account your league's activity level, right? Because we went back to this league about 3 or 4 different times. DGT. There have been probably a total of 6 trades this year, maybe something like that. Not a lot, you know what I mean? Not as many as you would think for a 14-team league. So you do need to take that into account. So like when I get an offer from someone, I do have to weigh, like, I can't just dismiss it out of hand, although I kind of did, and now I might go back to that Michael Wilson one. You shouldn't just dismiss it right out of hand, because you don't know that you're going to get any other offers like than that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on toilet bowl approach? Trading to win a toilet bowl pick. Does it even factor in? Like, if you're you were 8th place, are you willing to give up assets to win a toilet bowl, like a comp pick?
To just get a comp pick?
Let's assume you're getting like the 113. What's your trade strategy? Do you even care? Are you just going to roll with what you have?
Yeah, I'm not. So I'm going to trade. I mean, what assets am I trading? Like, if I'm trading,
if you're trading a first for a player,
yeah,
what would it look like?
But why would I do that? So I'm trading a first for a player so that I can win the 13.
Right. Well, no, you're trading a first because you're hoping that's the 106, right?
Okay.
And you get a player, and then if you win the toilet bowl, you get the 113. So it's almost like you traded the 106 for the 113 and a player. What does that player have to be? Does it still have to be a solid dynasty trade? You know what I mean? Like, I actually think that's an interesting strategy that no one would talk about, because I don't think a lot of people in the non-playoff bracket even think to trade their first. But think about that trade. Name a player that could be worth around the 106. I can't even think of anybody off the top of my head.
That you would give up the 106 for?
Yep, 106 in this upcoming. Would you give up the 106 for Chase Brown?
In the playoffs, yeah. If I'm
not in the playoffs.
Not
in the playoffs. You're in the toilet bowl. But if you win, and keep in mind, if you're the 106, you're the favorite to win the toilet bowl. You're like, the 30% chance to win. Because most of our league, Shane, if you go to the bottom of the toilet bowl, there's like 2 awful teams. You know what I mean? Like, they have no chance. So toilet bowls are usually like a 2-week season, maybe even a 1-week season, depending on how good the other teams are. And when I say toilet, I mean you're playing for something. You have to decide how valuable it is. If we're playing for the 101, that's totally different. But I'm saying you're playing for the comp pick. Yeah, you trade away the 106, you try to get something, and if you get the comp pick, you get Chase Brown and the 113 for the 106. That's a good deal.
Well, that's fine. You're getting an actual what's the word I'm looking for? An actual asset in Chase Brown. You're getting a player that there's no reason that he shouldn't do what he did this year.
Hence my question. What does a toilet bowl trade look like when you're clearly not wanting to trade your picks? Like, you're trying to still have some dynasty principles in mind when you're making the deals, right?
Yeah, it's got to be for an asset that I can use next year, or that I think I can resell in the offseason. It's got to be for that.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's no point in me doing it.
Now we're going to get real spicy, and I want the chat to chime in on this. What if you're playing for the 101?
Now,
obviously, here's the caveat. Your pick is the one that could be the 101, right? Like, picks are not in the trade conversation here, because your pick is what you need to have to become the 101. So, like, what are you, if you're a team that is out of it, but you do have like an injured Garrett Wilson or a Malik Neighbors or someone like that, are you willing to push one of those types of pieces in to try to get the 101?
Oh, chat's saying. I'm saying no. Like,
would you give up? I'm going to ask you this one. Would you give up Malik Neighbors? Let's say you are the favorite to win the 101. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Would you give up Malik Neighbors for Nico Collins?
Yeah, but you know why? Because Nico Collins is people aren't going to like this. Nico Collins is just as good as Malik Neighbors.
Ooh, yeah, people are not going to like that.
Yeah.
But
When he's on the field. Now, when he's on the field, unfortunately, there's too many injuries. But anyway, yeah, I would do that. Nico Collins is enough of a return that I would do that to try to get the 101. Because again, to your point, I'm basically trading Malik Neighbors for Nico Collins, and we'll just say, the difference of 5 draft spots. Well, that's the 107. So 6 draft spots without even having to give up a first too. So yeah, yes, I would.
I also think that the most likely team that you'd be trading with, Shane, would be another team in the toilet bowl, right?
Because they're probably more like me, and they're like, I'm not even dealing with this.
Well, no, they're I don't think a lot of teams. Let's say you were the top 1 or 2 seed. You're probably not giving up Nico Collins for Malik Neighbors right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the team, it could be a very plus EV trade is what I'm trying to get at. If you're willing, and this is, I'll repeat this again. This is for teams that are playing for draft slots. So if you win the consolation, you get the 101. If you finish second, you get the 102, etc. Like, we know how valuable a top 2 or 3 pick is in a draft compared to the 106, the 108. It's huge.
Yeah.
So how much are you willing to take a bath on value? Even though you missed the playoffs, but all year you might have thought, oh man, my team's going to miss the playoffs. Malik Neighbors is perfect to be parked on my IR. Now you're actually thinking about, man, what can I get for him? Can I stay close enough to the tier he's in and actually give myself a shot to win the 101? I think I have like 4 leagues where I did not make the playoffs, but I have a chance to win the 101. And because I have quite a few, I think I have like 15 leagues that we play for the 101. It's quite a few.
I got to be honest with you. I have no idea what leagues I'm playing for the 101. Absolutely none.
You better check.
I couldn't tell you one of them. Couldn't tell you one of them. Not a one.
Better check those. But
meh.
Anyway,
it's a lot of work.
Anything else you want to talk about? I want to share, get my screen shared.
Showbiz GB. Is the 2026 101 worth it? Abso-freaking-lutely, dude. Abso-freaking-lutely.
And I think that's why we went in here, because, I mean, you're looking at this. This is another Saquon Bijan, right? That's how you're kind of looking at it. I mean, it's what Genty was last year. I know he hasn't panned out, but that's how you view it, right? It's a clear smash 101 compared to the 103.
So I looked at my 8 tanking teams, looked at the draft picks, and then I just went in and looked at which ones do I have the 101 for. I have 4 101s, so that feels pretty good. Then a 102, which that's blue balls right there. Ended up with the 102 instead of the 101, and then a 103. But yeah, the 101 is definitely worth it. Hey, look, Ricky, yes, the last 2 years 101. They were Marvin Ashton. You didn't have to draft the players. 2, the value of the 101 is you get to make the decision, and you can trade that for a haul in most years. And also, Ashton Genty, if you think he's not good, then I don't want to tell you, man. Just watch the Raiders. It is literally one of the worst offenses that's ever been in existence. It's bad in every way. No one would get any yards behind that. You put Omer and Hampton back there, he's not doing shit. You put Junkins back there, he's not doing anything. You put Bijan back there, he's looking like Saquon up until Monday night.
Yeah, I was about to share my screen, but I actually want to hold off on doing the screen sharing just because I want to set up. Well, I want to set up the kind of preparing for the off-season episode. Maybe we can do that next week. I kind of want to set that up and actually do like a whole show on it, because I think it does take some prep. I mean, I was just going to throw up a couple teams and say, hey, let's just look at a couple teams and see what moves can be made. But I kind of want to set up a whole episode and do it that way, where we can actually go through, because there's a couple teams that I've started doing it. So we're kind of in like the midst of that recycle. But there's going to be probably more teams for both of us next week that are out of it, that we might even have a better chance to show exactly what that looks like. Because the few I was going to pull up, I just pulled one up and I've already started doing the transactions. So it's like not going to be as good, but there's going to be some that I get eliminated after this week. And those will be perfect ones to go, okay, Shane, I got knocked out in the quarterfinals. Let's start. Forget about trading. I mean, there can always be some trades that could be made, but let's start looking at like, how do I want to angle this roster for next year? just based on what's on waivers. I mean, we're talking small micro transactions, but it does matter when you know the league's lock for the offseason. So let's hit some comments. I saw some good ones in there. Throw them up. This one for sure.
Okay.
Shane needs to get in voice chat. Yeah, we need you in there, Shane.
It's just been
that commute you have home from work.
Yeah, it's been a busy couple days, man. I've needed to decompress a little bit on my own. But I will make sure we get in there. Anyway, one can argue that the value of the 101 would never be higher than the offseason. I would say that that's generally true all the time. It is generally true.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. I had two, and I'll just share it because I shared it in the voice chat, but I was going back and forth on two different trades. And I was on both sides of the fence, right? And the same conclusion was drawn. So when stuff like that happens in life, when I'm like, I'm on one side and the other, and both sides end up at the same conclusion, that interests me. So in one circumstance, I'm out of the playoffs, and I was getting offered a trade for me to give up Nico Collins. Okay. So I was getting back Isaac Tesla and a mid to late 26 first for Nico Collins.
Isaac Tesla and a mid to late 20.
And it's a deep league. So Isaac Tesla is probably like on the back end of like, I could throw him in and start him. So he's not a complete zero. But guess what? It was the 26 first that I knew, okay, if this team wins in the first round, that's going to be the 111. You know what I mean? It just wasn't the time for me to give up the player, Nico Collins, for that pick. So I countered, Shane. Okay. I countered. Same deal. But you give me your 27 first instead. And this is a team in the playoffs. They're obviously trying to acquire higher end talent. But that 27 first was a deal breaker. They couldn't do it. 27 first in that deal instead of the 26, 109 through 111. They could not do it. And I said, I'm not looking to get the 26. I want the 27. And they said, okay, cool. Walked away. They're the contender. I'm looking for the pick. I was willing to give up Nico for, I looked at this person's roster. It wasn't great. I probably could have saw a world where that's a top 6 pick next year. And I was willing to trade Nico for a top 6, 27 first. They wouldn't move it. Would not move it. Other hand, I'm in the playoffs and I'm looking to trade Malik Neighbors. Okay. So I've held Malik Neighbors. I've got a bye. I have a bye this week. I'm the number 1 seed. I have the Malik Neighbors chip just chilling, waiting to fire in trades. So I sent out a couple trades for Malik Neighbors. And I've been riding Jacoby Brissett as my quarterback too. And one of the pieces I wanted back was Tyler Shuck. So I asked for Tyler Shuck and another flex starter. This is a 12x12. So 2 PPR, point per carry, all the jazz, right? So I'm like, give me Tyler Shuck. And this is a team that finished bottom 4 this year. So it's not a good team. But they have 3 firsts, 4 seconds. Like they're retooling, but they have assets. I'm like, give me Tyler Shuck. Give me Mark Andrews in a 2 PPR. He's startable.
Yeah.
And give me your 27 first. And I'll give you Malik Neighbors. I'm giving you Malik Neighbors for the equivalent of maybe 2 firsts-ish? Something like that. Yeah, Andrews and Shuck. I don't even know if Andrews and Shuck are worth a first.
Probably
to
not.
Some maybe, but and you know what? They countered. Guess what they countered with? One of their 26s. I go, dude, you're getting Malik Neighbors. You already have 3 firsts and 4 seconds. But
I'm just curious, where was that one? Well, it's a 26, so they know what pick it is. Or unless
it was like 107, 108. Okay. So, but the point was, even the team that was out of it, as soon as I'm giving them Malik Neighbors, Shane, as soon as I went to that 27 first, no, can't move it. So a non-playoff team and a playoff team both arrived to the conclusion of they're not interested in moving 27 first at all, even if they get the deal that they want. And we're already there. Like both of them were happy to toss me those 26s. Didn't even think twice. Didn't care. Didn't even care. Well, but as soon as I went to the 27, it didn't matter who the player was. Even Malik Neighbors. I almost felt they wouldn't have been comfortable giving me even Malik Neighbors straight up for the 27 pick. Like, I don't even think they would have done Shuck in the 27 for Malik Neighbors. That's how much they valued it.
I will say this, right? So part of that is because of 26 pick. I know where it is. It's for the most part, I know it's either 101 through 106, or I know the exact pick there, but outside of that, I kind of have an idea it's going to be the 107, 110, 112, whatever. With bye weeks, there's a range where I know where no matter what, the only thing I can't say is it going to be 110, good chain, 109, 10, 11, or 12. That's the only thing I probably can't say, but I have an idea. So that's probably why. That's what I think. 26 wide receiver class is underrated. I don't think that the wide receivers are underrated, Joseph. I think we're in on the wide receivers. It's the fact that there's not a lot of running backs, and the quarterback class is sketch. Yeah. In tight end, I can only name one, Kenyon Sadiq. I'm sure there's others.
You know why the picks aren't? There's not flexibility in the pick, Shane.
Right.
That's why what normally drives a good class is diversity and depth. Yeah. Meaning you don't have to commit. If you're picking at like 107 this year, you're probably like, I'm probably going to get a receiver. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you're probably already pigeonholed into only one direction. Whereas if it's a strong class where there's 2 or 3 good position groups, people tend to gravitate around those picks more because their picks are not going to be finite in terms of what they're going to get. I think that's how people are viewing the 27 picks. As we all know Jeremiah Smith's good, but I think people are banking on it's going to be a decent receiver class, but it's also going to be a robust quarterback class with a better running back class than this year. Even if 27 isn't known for its running backs, I think we're going to be coming off of a 26 class that everybody doesn't like at running back. So right there, we're going to overcorrect for next year going, wow, it has Jeremiah and some other receivers, but man, it's a stronger QB class than almost ever. And it's a better running back class than last year. So it just feels like that rebound effect is going to be why people want the picks and don't even want to bother with 26, because there's just not a lot of diversity here. If you need to rebuild everything but a receiver room, you don't feel good about having 5 firsts this year, right? If you just have to make the pick, you probably don't feel good about the diverse number of assets that you could get. So that's my take.
No, yeah. What's funny is what quarterback? A bunch of the quarterbacks in that draft are quarterbacks only because that should have been in this class that are failing. Like I haven't even heard Lenore Sellers. Did he retire? I'm just curious. Has he retired? I have not heard his name in about 7 months.
Did you see that press conference with him after the last game where they asked him, "Are you going to transfer?" And he just kind of chuckled. They did fire their offensive coordinator because they were one of the worst offenses in the SEC. But they asked him, like, what are you committing to come back to South Carolina? And he was just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's going.
Hell no, I'm committed. I'm not committing to come back. Like, I don't think he's absolutely transferring, but this was not like, this is my home. I'm looking to get back to work. You know what I mean? It was like, maybe, get a better offer that comes my way. Anywhere better.
I just assume he's going to go to Miami and replace what's his face?
That's going to be Sam Levitt that goes to Miami.
Sam Levitt's going to go there? Is that what we're thinking? Okay. Possibly, so there's just going to be a bunch of failures of the 26 class that are going to be in that. And maybe Dante Moore. And who else is the other one that might wait till 27?
Well, here's what you get. You're going to get Dante Moore and Ty Simpson are both going to be in the playoff. I think Ty Simpson, he's really struggled the last 6 weeks. He's probably on the way out looking in.
Yeah.
But both of them will be in the playoff. You never know. We've seen magical runs in the playoff where a team goes on a run and the quarterback gets all the credit. And all of a sudden it's like, wow, look, Ty Simpson just won 3 straight games in the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. He's back in the mix. And, these guys do have to weigh how much they can make in NIL, their situation next year, but then also the class they're going up against, right? If either Simpson or Moore smashes and people are already going, man, that could be the QB too, Shane. You could be in the top 5 next year just because there is no other quarterback options. Then you might have to consider it. Like, we could still get that, but I'm not banking on it. I know when I did that pod a month ago talking about just macro view of the 26 class, I think I put it at 1.5 quarterbacks. And that was like, there's a good chance there's only 1.
Yeah.
Could be maybe 2, but it's probably over unders like 1.5. So if you have a rookie pick and you like to get a quarterback, you're either fishing in you hope there's a couple Tyler Shucks or Shedeur Sanders where you can just take shots on them later. But if you have a first round pick and you're hoping for a second quarterback to go in the first round, I don't think the odds are even in your favor at that point. So right there, you're only putting 1 quarterback that's a first round rookie pick. Same with running back, right? Like, I don't even know where all the other running backs are going to fall. There's probably going to be one or two that get, draft capital last year, like RJ Harvey, you know what I mean? Like, they go in the second or early third, and you're like, I can justify picking that guy in the first. But again, if there's only 2 or 3 of those guys, all of a sudden, 1 quarterback, 3 running backs, a lot of leagues, tight ends don't matter. So if it's 1-5 or less, like, you don't even care about taking a first round tight end, but you'll probably will because there's nobody else to draft. All of a sudden, that first round is looking like there better be 6 first round receivers, Shane, or we're not even going 1 round deep of good profile players. And I think that's how I view the class right now, which is why I'm like, I'll be more aggressive getting rid of the 26 or not taking the 26 back. Doesn't mean it can't be a good draft. Doesn't mean we can't get some of this stuff wrong. But I do think that's why people are viewing it as they are right now.
Yeah, I'll say this. I know in a lot of the leagues that I made it to the playoffs, I haven't actually done the math, but just from eyeballing it, a lot of my 26 picks are gone. A lot of those are gone. A good bit of those are gone.
And was that on purpose for this exact premise? Like, you were okay letting them go?
Yeah.
And do you feel vindicated that you're okay letting them go, given where we stand with the view of the class right now? It doesn't feel like you're super regretting moving those, right?
No, but and also, we play in multiple
until
leagues,
March,
right?
when Shane is wishing he had more.
Well, no. So this is one of the things that I came to grips with in the year that made me feel okay with it, right? Is that I looked at my tanking teams and I go, all right, I'm going to just keep collecting first. And I keep bringing it up. But on average, on my 8 tanking teams, there's 3.5 first round picks for each of them. Each of them have 3.5 first round picks, give or take. Obviously, you can't have a half, right? Some leagues I have 5, some I have 4, some I have 3. There's a couple with 2 and just a couple with 1. So that's where I'm going to get my rookie fills. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to satisfy that need. Is I don't need it on the teams that made the playoffs. I mean, do I want to be in the draft? Sure. But I can scratch that itch with the picks that I have in the bad leagues, the teams that I tanked on.
Let's hit Spock's super chat. Appreciate you, Spock, for the super chat. We normally do trades on Dynasty Deal Show every Friday, but anytime if you do want to drop a super chat, we'll always take it on Manic and Chill. But become a member. Literally, if you have trades, Friday night, 9 o'clock, Dynasty Deal Show, Ty, Shane, and I, that's all we do is answer trades. So if you have trades and you want them in there before the deadline or before the playoffs, Friday night, link is in the description to become a member. $3.99 a month gets you there on Fridays for the live show. So go ahead and read it.
All right. Captain Spock. Too late, 26 seconds, a third, or Kyron and Jacoby. The team is below. He's got
too late seconds and a third. Like those don't move the needle at all. Those are just
first of all, is that Kyron Williams?
Kyron and Jacoby, correct.
I almost don't even need to look at your team. To be quite honest with you, Kyron is worth more than 2 late seconds.
Is it either or?
Jacoby with it.
That was the only question. Is it either or?
2 late, 26 seconds, third.
He says plus.
Or Kyron plus Jacoby. That's Kyron and Jacoby by an absolute lot. That's an absolute lot.
You know what? I mean, look at the team. Put the team up. Because here's the thing. Like, you're not even starting him on this team. I mean, look at his quarterbacks. Good God.
Yeah.
Bijan, Jacobs, Javonte, Amon-Ra, Puka, Nico, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams. I mean, you're literally not starting Kyron or Jacoby Myers on this team. Oh yeah, we have McBride and Bowers.
Wait, how does he have
Brenton
Myers?
Strange?
How does he have Myers twice? Because he says he has Myers on the team.
I think he's already adding them to the roster. Maybe he just didn't list Kyron in there, but I'm assuming he's adding Myers and Kyron to this roster, which he's not starting either one on this roster.
But yeah, looking at that, I mean, where are you going to, you're not going to start them.
Well, no, but Shane, dude, I'm getting them for this price. I would turn around I would turn around and trade like Nico Collins and Josh Jacobs for first. My team wouldn't be any worse.
So he did make the deal. Okay, so he did this. He wants to have flexibility on making the bet with Kyron and Jacoby and offload other players in the offseason. Yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. Look, the price is so cheap. 2 late seconds, they could be 2 early seconds for Kyron Williams is cheap. To get Jacoby Myers, who is the wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville, apparently. Yeah, that's a good deal, dude. I mean, it's cheap. It's very cheap. I like that.
I don't need a 25-year-old cargo van, but if you'll give it to me for like $10, I'll just take it and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It feels like it's great process because you got them for 40 cents on the dollar.
Yeah. You went out. You don't always need something, or you see something on sale. It's okay to buy it, even if you don't need it at this exact second. Right.
Yeah. What else? Well, appreciate the trade question, Spock. I mean, I think you answered it. You already have a plan. And I can't understand the plan of the team that traded you those guys for those picks, but maybe they looked at your roster and they're like, well, this guy's team is unbeatable. So
I'm just gonna acquiesce and give him more stuff.
Well, no, I'm gonna give him more stuff, and I'm gonna just take any liquidation that he has because there's no way I can beat him over the next 2 years. So I don't know. I can't. I'm grasping at straws to figure out why someone would do that trade, but here we are. What's this question? Tyler says, is there still a receipt from preseason when he said BTJ only produced because he was only target Mac Jones had at the end of the year? You guys roasted me on a live stream. All good. All love. Good luck in the playoffs, everyone. I don't remember this, but I mean, possibly.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right.
What's your thoughts on Brian Thomas Jr. now? I mean,
look, man, obviously
the offense is coming around, but he hasn't necessarily been the catalyst of it.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got nothing to do with him. You can't feel good. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. You can't feel good, right? And yeah, maybe I roasted you because targets are an earned stat. My fault is thinking that Trevor Lawrence could take an elite wide receiver and continue to make him elite. Instead, he has to throw to jamokes like Jacoby Myers and Christian Kirk because Trevor Lawrence sucks as a human being, as a quarterback. His hair is fake.
Well, and Teddy just turns Jacoby Myers into elite.
Yeah, I love Jacoby Myers too. So, I love Jacoby Myers.
I mean, that is the concerning thing, that a guy that's only been on the team for 3 weeks has been better than Brian Thomas every game.
It is very disconcerting. It is very, very disconcerting that Brian Thomas Jr. got immediately leaped by Jacoby Brissett, and I know by Jacoby Myers, and I know BTJ was out for a few weeks, so Jacoby got settled in. But if Brian Thomas Jr. was the guy, he would have came back, and Jacoby would have gotten ethered. You know what I mean? So,
we even saw a game before Jacoby just got worked in where BTJ was out, and Parker Washington had like 13 targets.
Yeah,
I guess. I'm still not down on Brian Thomas, but like, wouldn't you love to see one of his games where he has 11 targets for 10 for 100 and a touchdown? Like, if you just get one of those games, you're like, okay, we might have something here. But, he kind of feels like even the poor man's Marvin Harrison, if you look at his usage. Like, even his usage isn't like in the range where you'd expect even for a good wide receiver too. So something to monitor. I still don't think you can buy BTJ cheap, though. I still think people are just kind of dug in on, he'll turn around or it'll get bad. He feels like he's one of those guys that, like, if you had to give up a mid 26 first right now for BTJ, would you do it?
Yes.
Given this class?
Yes.
Okay, so you're giving up like that 106 toilet bowl pick to get him?
Yeah. I still like BTJ. It happens, right? Hopefully he bounces back. What he did in his rookie year, him, Lad McConkey, who's also been very disappointing, but people don't talk in the same light, but him, Lad McConkey, Malik Neighbors, all three of those guys had monster rookie seasons that just portended to good things, but it didn't happen. So whatever, but I'll buy low. A single first. Let's go.
Okay, let's hit a couple more comments, then I got to bounce.
Yeah, me too.
Number 1 seed sold his first for Christian Watson in the 305.
Okay, 112, whatever. I can't be mad at you. I've sent out offers that are a little absurd, so I can't be mad. He's been playing like a wide receiver one. I know he only had 4 targets last week, but they didn't throw a lot, so that wasn't really a him thing. So I'm fine with it.
No. Shaboyle Poppy. Help his lineup. He needs to pick 4 of these players.
Okay. Godwin.
It's not Roma Dunze, because I'm very, very doubtful he plays. Pick 4 of the other 5.
QJ.
QJ is the guy I'm sitting.
Over likely?
Against Cincinnati, yes. I'm playing Isaiah Likely. I'm playing Charlie Kohler.
You're playing Charlie Collier. I don't like any of these options, but
Dawson Knox just lit them up.
Dawson Knox. Okay, so you're playing likely Jerry Judy.
I'm definitely playing Jerry Judy with Shador. Yes.
Okay.
I'm playing Chris Godwin. It's Mike Evans coming back and Quentin Johnston.
Judy had one good game with Shador, but anyway, I'm fine with it.
When's the last time Quentin Johnston had a good game, Shane?
1963.
I'm just saying, I'm not Quentin Johnston at Kansas City. I'm not comfortable with that being a big game for QJ. So that's the guy I'm sitting. Is probably QJ.
Yeah.
Fire up the Bucks. For the first time, the Bucks will have all of their receivers out there.
Jalen McMillan, baby.
And Jalen McMillan. Yep.
Egbuka is going to have 3 targets if he's lucky.
I think that's it. Good comments, good engagement. Run out of time. Shane, any final words?
Good. Just good luck to everybody in your first week of the playoffs, unless you're playing me as usual, right? Or unless you have players that are going up against players that I have, or players that I need to not have.
Yeah, if you like more of this, Shane and I usually do a show Monday and Friday in the Discord most weeks when our audio is working. It's not always consistent, but I'd say probably 80 to 90% of the time. Monday mornings, Friday mornings, the morning drive, Shane on his way to work, me just chilling, drinking my coffee. Usually we're in there just bantering about very similar vibe to this show, even less structure than Manic and Chill. And Shane can tell you there's very little structure on this show. That is just, we get on here and talk about Dynasty.
Lot of banter.
Join the Discord, patreon.com/allgas, ddfantasyfootball.com. Get a roster review if you're interested. QR code is on the screen. And good luck, everybody. Week 1 of the playoffs. We will be back next week. See ya.
Later, y'all.